JJ is the star of Outer Banks Season 4 Part 1 with the insane twist at the end when he realizes he has been living a lie all along. However, what that means for JJ in Part 2 is extremely mind-blowing as you discover JJ's fate. Outer Banks Season 4 Part 2's teaser has hinted that JJ will be even more reckless, going off by the heavy discovery he made at the end of Episode 5, and after going through all those traumas from Luke Maybank, who wasn't even his real dad. Diving right into it, Wes Jenrette revealed that his daughter Larissa had seen Elizabeth's ghost before she passed away. He also mentioned that he had already had a visitation before the Pogues visited his home to help him find the amulet. So, with JJ being a direct descendant of Wes as Larissa is his mom, he might start seeing Elizabeth in Part 2, but that's not the craziest part, as there's more to the curse determined to eradicate the Jenrette family. Unknown to JJ, he was already closer to the truth before Luke told him Larissa was his birth mother.
You've heard the rumors, right?
Oh yeah, about the daughter. I mean that she drowned with her baby. That's what I heard.
I heard that too, but I heard that she was possessed first or something.
JJ is the baby that was rumored to have drowned with his mother, Larissa, except that the baby survived. Another mind-blowing disclosure was when Kiara added that she also heard that Larissa was possessed or had some form of strange behavior about her. And that could mean that it's not ghosts the Jenrettes are dealing with, as it could also be a mental health issue where Larissa wasn't excellent at taking care of her baby due to some traumatic family secrets. So there's more to this family, which the real JJ's father is well aware of, even if Wes, who has already passed away, had no clue. The crazy thing is that the curse might not just be a feeling but a person, which isn't far-fetched, seeing as Wes was attacked physically due to the injuries on his neck. But then it gets even worse for JJ because it doesn't matter if the curse is a person or a mental illness. He would still be directly affected, as the person behind eradicating the family line wouldn't stop until they get a hold of JJ. Also, what makes this even scary is that Chandler, who happens to be his father, is a prominent suspect in the demise of Wes, and that makes the whole situation even harder for JJ to bear because one outcome is as bad as the other. JJ might be goofy and fun, but he's also very emotional based on the family issues he has gone through, and with so much sensitive information dumped on him in Part 1, JJ might have a massive breakdown. As the teaser showed, he will be furious and raging every minute as he tries to handle everything himself. Even when situations are calm, JJ has never been the type to make rational choices, and it will only get worse for him in Part 2 because his mental health might nosedive. Earlier, we mentioned that there's probably more to the Jenrette family than the curse, which could be a huge secret, and even though Chandler has been hinted at as the bad guy of Season 4, he might be involved in the whole story differently. If JJ was the baby that was presumed to have drowned with Larissa, but he ended up still alive, Larissa may have also survived without Wes finding out. And the most insane theory of OBX4 Part 2 is that Larissa could be Hollis, which gets intense from here. It's not the first time someone presumed deceased in OBX will come back alive, as Ward Cameron is a perfect example of how it's possible. When Luke told JJ about his birth father and mother, he said Larissa was a good person, and he decided to take JJ on because he was just trying to help. We all know Luke is a very reckless and untrustworthy person who wouldn't choose to help someone raise a baby all because he wanted to help, and that means he may have been paid to keep JJ and pretend to be his dad. However, if Larissa survived and was a good person, as hinted, she probably gave JJ away to keep him safe and was running from home to escape from something tragic. While the grandfather, Wes, might not be aware of this when it happened, Chandler did, especially if Larissa is Hollis. If they could keep JJ away for so long, Larissa could also change her name to escape from home, and that points toward the idea that Wes could be the person Larissa was trying to get away from, and he could be so powerful that she had to devise a big and uncomfortable plan to become Hollis, give JJ away, and work with Chandler to get as far away as possible. The passing away of Wes, in which Chandler appears to be a suspect, could also be a big part of their plan. Although Wes mentioned a ghost visited him, it could be that the older man saw Larissa and assumed it was Elizabeth coming after him. Also, the reason why Wes wrote in a letter that he has a lot to say to JJ could be to tell him all the very dark secrets the family has been sitting on. Interestingly, the scene with Chandler and Hollis that we saw at the end of episode 5 has a contented feeling around it, and they look like they are finally getting what they've always wanted. So, if Hollis is JJ's mom, then his parents are up to insane things that will determine how JJ ends up in part 2 of OBX4. But the story gets even crazier because Luke is the most wanted man in the show, but he risked it all to show up again, and it might be him coming to let JJ know about his origin, as the contract he had when he took him on is now over, and JJ's parents might want their little family back. Hollis also became so close to Rafe. For some reason, she was willing to go far to get him to work with her, which is another big clue that there's a bigger plan in which everything all cycles back to JJ. Another scary thing about OBX Part 1 is that a strange guy with a familiar but weird tattoo also passed away as his body was recovered on the beach, and they are yet to figure out the person behind it. And it gets even more intense because it means JJ is also now a specific target among the Pogues, and he risks becoming deceased in part 2. So far, his birth father has also been spooky, and that doesn't give JJ any more hope, as the mysteries behind his birth, how he survived drowning, and the people who have an interest in the Jonrette household all point to the fact that JJ is in danger of something bigger than him. Also, the actor who plays JJ, Rudy Pankow, has been at the center of internet speculations that he might be leaving the show after OBX4, which is why the plot line might involve him becoming deceased. The reason why this rumor started was due to an August interview he had with Backstage, which went viral. When asked about his position in Outer Banks, he said, "I'm so thankful to be in this position, to be working on this craft with these characters, but I know that's not gonna last forever. I'm capable of trusting that it's gonna be okay no matter how busy I am or how not busy I am." So this statement, with all the Outer Banks behind the scenes drama, made some fans think that Rudy might be preparing to exit the show. Then the rumors became even more believable after some people discovered that the show's co-creator Jonas Pate unfollowed Rudy and Elaine on Instagram, even though he has since followed Rudy back, but not Elaine, who works on the set as his assistant. So it's unclear if Elaine has stopped working on the set of OBX or if Rudy is leaving after season 4, but if he is, the best way to explain his absence would be his character's demise. However, the focus of every season of Outer Banks is always the treasure, and it started with the amulet in season 4, and more clues led them to the cemetery and church in Charleston, and with Wes Jonrette involved, it shows the treasure they might find this season has even more to do with JJ. In the teaser for part 2, we saw that the Pogues are going on an even more extensive journey that will be disastrous, and it could be about finding more answers to every chaos so far. While this sounds bad for JJ, it also means JJ could become rich in the second part of OBX4. Even without any additional treasure found, JJ is already wealthy from his connection to Wes, and part of the things he wanted to let JJ know before his demise could be about passing all his wealth to him, as he's the only one left in their family line, so JJ might inherit a ton of money in part 2. Nevertheless, there are probably 2 ways out for JJ in part 2 of Outer Banks 4. He either passes away from the curse or becomes rich and finally gets the lovely home he has always wanted.